Hi everyone, it's Amali from Lifespan Nutrition here. We're on to a workshop 4 of our Motivate Your Mind series. So I have to start the session by apologising for the noise that you might hear. They're drilling into the slab in the building above us in the clinic today, so it's been a little bit noisy on and off. And I'm also very tired, as you can see by my eyes. I'm coming to the end of a really giant week. Lots of clients, lots of plans I've had to put together, and yesterday my first giant public speaking engagement, so 100 people for Host Plus superannuation. I'm talking at their retirement planning kind of symposium alongside a psychologist and an osteopath. So I got to talk on eat well to age well, which was really fun and enjoyable, and I got lots and lots of questions afterwards, so it was great. But back to our Motivate Your Mind series. So we've been through a few weeks now. We talked through in our first week some of the things around mindset. We talked around lifestyle change, thinking about areas of our health that aren't working for us. In week 2, we kind of took stock of our current health. We went through our sleep, our hydration, our current exercise, our diets, stress levels, all of that stuff, and we ranked it 1 to 10 just to see where we are on that spectrum for each of those things. And we had a little think about maybe one little thing that we could do for each of those categories to shift that needle up just a little bit. And we wanted to, think of things like not, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week or every day, or vegetables. I'm not gonna we're not gonna eat our full 5 serves every day, but we might go for depending on where we're at on that needle, might pick something a little tiny. I'm gonna eat 1 extra serve of vegetables a day, or I'm gonna eat 1 extra serve one day a week. I might eat 5, try to aim for my 5 serves of vegetables 1 day a week. So something small that's incremental that we don't have to do every day at first, because when it's all or nothing, it makes it really easy we set ourselves up to fail. So try not to make your goal something that's all or nothing. And that's the biggest problem with people with their New Year's resolutions, and why the majority of people don't continue with them, because we make these giant sweeping changes, or we make it something that we need to do too frequently, and we when we've all got habits, built on years of having that habit, and habits built on years of kind of default ways of thinking, and when we're trying to change those habits, it's fantastic for the first week, the second week. But when something happens that's unplanned, or when we feel tired or we're not comfortable, the change starts to become a little bit uncomfortable and hard, we default back to what we know. So you will kind of take 5 steps forward and 1 step backwards, but that's natural. It's about taking that 5 step forward again when you've gone backwards for a little bit. Someone I know recently said, I've been eating really well for 2 weeks, and then I had 1 day where I just lost it. I've actually, if you're listening, there's a few people that'll think, I wonder if she's talking about me, because I've heard this story a few times this week of someone who's been eating really well for 2 weeks and then just had a relapse. And they were like, that's it, it's done, the person that I see for this is going to be really disappointed with me. A few of my own clients said to be disappointed in me, and I'm not disappointed. It's natural to have these steps backwards, but it's what you do the next day, your next meal, the next chance you have to do, make your change that counts. So as I say to a lot of my clients, don't eat 2 bad things in a row as well. If you're going to eat the ice cream, make sure we eat next is a carrot or some berries or something that's going to move you forward on that path again. And I get lots of food cravings, so I'm quite strict with myself, but I do let myself have, as I said at my talk yesterday, I love cake, and I do let myself have cake. So interestingly, there was a lot of cake left over after the session after I talked. I did tell everyone they could eat cake. So that was our week 2. Week 3, we went through kind of how are these changes going to impact our life? What's really motivating us? Is it something we we want to do? Is it something outside of us, like that we think others expect of us? Is it something that we deep down want to change? Is it something we think we need to change? Understanding why you're making the change, the payoffs for making it, and the things that will happen if we don't make change is really important to understanding our motivation. I find sometimes along that pathway, I realise that there's a lot of expectation. I feel like there's expectations on me to be a certain way, and then I realise that maybe the change is something that I'm not ready for, or something I don't want to do yet. I don't want to do it all, and that might change my goal. There's no point doing something, if you feel everyone around you wants to do something and you think, smoking is the ideal thing. Smokers often face, their whole family pressure to change, but any smoker will tell you until they're ready to change, they're not going to. I saw a friend of mine, Stephanie, who's a hypnotherapist, and she works with a lot of people for virtual gastric banding. She works with people to break that kind of, that nervous system response when you've got things like IBS. But she also works with a lot of clients who are smokers or alcoholics and want to reduce bad habits. And she always says, unless people really want to change, she can't work with them, because that kind of, once you get past those surface layers and you're into that kind of subliminal layer, she can't influence that if it's not wanting to be influenced. So you have to really want to change. So uncovering our exercise in week 3 was about uncovering those reasons for change, and really questioning us on do we want the change, or maybe we need to reassess our goals. So I can see a little thumbs up. I couldn't see fast enough who the picture was. I don't know if there's can I put comments? I don't know if I can put comments on. Comment though if that was you. So now we're up to this week, so I can talk. Like I said to everyone yesterday, I can talk and talk and talk. I've got hair everywhere because I can't find my hair tie. I don't know where it is. Most people that know me know I don't leave my hair out very often, so it's irritating me today. So we're up to what, when, how, and why. So this is a really, this hair, there it is. I've got it. Sorry, you didn't tune in today to watch me chase hairs all over my top. So we want to list out the things we want to change. So our body, our sleep, exercise, water intake, quality of our food, stress. And when I say stress, I mean mental load as well. Are you, I often talk to people and they say, I'm not stressed. And I say, yeah, but are you mentally full? Is your water at the top of the dam, or all those seats in your head, are they all full of things? I spoke to a naturopath friend today, and she said she thinks of like the cooker. You've got a 6-burner cooker going, and if you've got pots and pans on each of the burners. So that as well as something to be mindful of. Do you have a full mental load, and your overall health? So we rank those. Let's pull that bit of paper out again. Let's look at the one small thing we want to change, and then start looking at what does this look like. So when we talked about it before, we were kind of thinking green fields, like, if there were no barriers to change, what would I change? We want to make small little brick-sized blocks of change, and now we want to look at that. What's the barrier to that? So if we ranked our sleep, I can't remember what I ranked my sleep. I'm just going to pull out my book and have a look at it. So I think I ranked my sleep as a 6 out of 10. So I had a bit of room for movement there. So with sleep, my biggest thing was always I've just got too much to do in my day. I'm not always tired in the evening. And I like to snooze my alarm in the morning. I kind of always feel a bit groggy. So for me around sleep, it was understanding why I was groggy in the morning. I didn't realize that snoozing your alarm leads to grogginess. So I did Mel Robbins' Mindset Reset at the start of the year, and she talks a lot about why you shouldn't snooze your alarm, why you should, use her 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and jump straight out of bed. And if you, wake up at 7 and snooze it for 30 minutes every day, stop setting it for 7, set it for 7:30 and get up at 7:30. Because snoozing your alarm puts you back into your sleep cycle. And so a sleep cycle typically lasts, I think she said, anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. And once you're in that sleep cycle, you want to continue that sleep cycle. So we typically would go through a few of those at the start of the night, and then we'd have a few hours of kind of, the sleep cycles when we're kind of stacking all the books back, filing through what's happened throughout the day, processing it, and then after that we kind of go into a different pattern of sleep which prepares us to wake up. So what happens when we snooze is that we start our sleep cycle again, but you're only in it for 10 minutes, so you don't get to complete it, so you're groggy when you wake up. And when I heard this, my kind of question was, but I thought power naps were really good for you in the middle of the day. And the difference between a power nap in the middle of the day and snoozing your alarm in the morning is that a power nap at the start of the day doesn't, because you're not already kind of in a phase of sleep, it's not long enough, that for 10 to 15 minutes isn't long enough for you to get into a deep sleep cycle. But because throughout the night you've been going through these cycles, you can go straight back into that sleep cycle really quickly. So you'll wake up groggy. So in terms of sleep, one thing to improve your quality of sleep, even a goal could be not to snooze your alarm anymore, and to actually set your phone alarm for the time that you want to get up at. Another, barrier I always found to sleep was having my phone next to my bed. I was always really concerned about, but what if someone needed to reach me in the middle of the night? What if I've got a family member? What if I've got a job? Things like that people need to reach me. What do I do? So my solution was using the screen time and the downtime built-in functions on my phone, so that my phone turns off at 9 o'clock at night. All the apps, turn off, so I can't wake up in the middle of the night and just have a quick scroll on Facebook or check my emails or anything like that. I realized that my habit of responding to people's emails and messages in the middle of the night was really leading to bad quality of sleep. Even though I thought I was doing myself a favor by getting it done, I wouldn't have to do it in the morning. It really was causing me to not switch off. Not noticeably, I only noticed it once I'd removed it. And I thought I'll remove it for a few days and I'll see if it, has an effect. And it did. So, all these people that say to me, Coca-Cola, my 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Coca-Cola doesn't, until I'm old, I'm saying Coca-Cola. It's like Kentucky Fried Chicken. Or McDonald's instead of Macca's, doesn't affect my sleep at night. I challenge you to try and wind that habit back and see if it does improve your sleep at night, because that caffeine and all the other things in it stay in your system throughout the day, and they can influence your sleep at night. So even little habits like that, I noticed when I moved from full caffeine coffee to a decaf. I only ever used to have one in the morning. I don't, all those people who know me are probably sitting there laughing, oh, but you drink so much coffee. I drink a lot of decaf, but I even don't have decaf after midday. And I found even one coffee in the morning affects my sleep at night. So decaf is my chosen drink, and it still has coffee, just not as much. So thinking through these barriers and really looking for solutions. And so last week when we went through motivating ourselves, why do we need to make this change? Now it's our time to make time for those changes. So I want to read a little bit of notes that I wrote down around time, because this is people's biggest barrier. And so when I did my mindset reset, we talked one of the, I think it was number 19. So if anyone wants to go back and have a listen to Mel Robbins, she recorded them all. They're on Facebook and YouTube. Her mindset reset video number 19. She talked about time, and she said if you're worried about time, you're not using your time well. It's that whole idea that any task will expand to or shrink to fit the time you've got available. So if you've got, you have those days where you work on one task and you go, I worked on it all day and it should have just been an hour job. It is just an hour job, you just took all day to do it. Or, when you've got, I only have an hour available, and you'll get through so many tasks and you'll go, why can't I be that efficient, every day? It's because today you only had an hour to do it, but you might allow yourself more time on other days. The task expands for the time that you've got or shrinks down. So we do really need to make time. My biggest issue with time, I always used to say, I really want to get to like a meditation class, but I never did. And it was because I didn't prioritize it, and I didn't make the time to do it, because I kind of deep down didn't really understand how it would, kind of knew it would help me, but I wasn't really committed to it. So commitment and prioritization and making time for the things that we want to do is important. If you tell yourself you don't have time, it's an excuse and it's a habit. Get deliberate about making time for the things you want. Stop trying to make people that don't support you, so don't waste time on them. And you need to say to yourself, I deserve this time, I deserve to have my dreams come through, and I value my time. So do you value your time? Are you spending it well? Are you at work at 8 o'clock at night, but you're only paid to be there till 5? Are you telling yourself that you're saving yourself time in the week? It's work you would have had to do anyway. And that's okay every now and then. We all have tight deadlines. We will give a bit extra, but has it become a habit? Are you there early in the morning? Are you there late at night? That used to be me. I'd be at work at 7 or 7:30 in the morning, and I almost hope no one from my old work's watching. I used to almost resent people that used to trot in later at 8 or 9, because I'd go, well, I've been getting work done all morning, and then the days that I kind of wanted to leave on time or a bit early, I could tell people were giving me the side eye because they were the ones that maybe came in at 8 or 9, but they were staying till 8 or 9 at night. And we weren't respecting each other's time, and I wasn't respecting my time. We've got so much time in our day. How long, if we sleep for 7 or 8 hours, and then we go to work for 7 or 8 hours, we've still got so much more time in our day, even taking into account travel, to do the things that we want to do. So prioritize that time. Make time for the things you want. Write it down. If time's a barrier, how can you get more time in your day? Do you want to get up 10 minutes earlier? Give yourself 10 minutes for your, as Mel Robbins would say, dreams in the morning. And that was my biggest thing. I used to say, well, I need an hour for this task, but I've only got 10 minutes. I'm not going to bother starting it. Start it. Use your 10 minutes. Get going on it. Time. I always get told by people, I don't have time. Resources. Do you need help from someone? What do you need to make things happen? If you need to learn something, where can you learn it? Is there a smaller step? If you want to be a nutritionist, but you don't have time to go back to uni, is there a small course you could take? Deacon do these amazing little kind of small 2-week units for free a lot of the time on lots of topics that you can do, and you can sign up for it and do it in your own time if you want to learn something new. So look at what you need, look at the resources, and maybe your dreams this big, but can we reduce it down and do like a little building brick on the way to get there? We don't need to go the whole hog all at once. A family and schedules getting in the way. Make it work. One of my best friends, Jenna, she her and her husband share a schedule. It was so interesting. We had dinner at their house on Tuesday night to watch them kind of working their schedule together and negotiating the time that they needed for the things that they wanted to do. It was absolutely wonderful. Use the support of people around you to let them know what's a priority in your life. I think sometimes we're scared to tell someone, to ask for what we need and to tell people what's important to us. For me lately, I've been trying to connect with other people in the health and wellness kind of sphere to try and grow my network, not necessarily to get clients from these people, but to just help for me to refer my clients on when they need a little bit extra. And so I've had to really prioritize that time, but it's meant that Jace has had to step in and take Maddie to daycare, pick her up from daycare, look after her a little bit longer in the morning. So we've really made that work, for which I'm very, very appreciative. I don't know if he'll ever watch this video, but I'm very appreciative of that. And that's those swings and roundabouts. He goes on a lot of golf trips, so that's his time. He's got a lot planned in the next few weeks. So it'll be Mads and I at home. Do you need support? Do you need not just support from friends and family, but do you need to bring an expert in? Do you need a PT? Do you need a mindset person? Do you need to see a psychologist to help you get over fears, self-doubt, limiting beliefs, things like that? Don't fall into the trap of just kind of Googling it. I always have this this kind of philosophy that if it takes me longer than an hour to do, to learn how to do something, then I'm just going to pay someone that knows how to do it. I didn't follow my own advice when I built my website. It took me forever. It caused me my first grey hairs, and my husband That was my husband calling. I just had to decline his phone call. He's obviously not watching. So if it's going to take you too long to learn, pay someone to do it. You know, same thing with your house. I pay someone to clean my oven because I don't want to do it. Takes me too long, causes me too much, you know, emotional pain to get in this. I pay someone to do it. And it's always that whole, you know, what's my time worth thing. Like, I don't want to pay a cleaner for my house because then I'm like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to pay the cleaner for something I can do. But we paid someone to come and do our lawns and stuff like that because, you know, it's just, we pay someone to come and clean our dogs. They come once a month. The dogs are beautiful. The lady came, I think it was Tuesday. So think about the things that you can outsource to give yourself a bit of time, if that's what it takes to achieve your dreams. And these are your dreams. You know, we work, we sleep, we work, eat, sleep, repeat. And for a lot of us, that is our Monday to Friday, sometimes longer. Sometimes we work, eat, work, sleep, repeat. You know, I know people with multiple jobs. So what are you working towards? Are you going to work yourself into a grave, or are you thinking about that retirement? I'll retire one day, and that one day will never come. Tomorrow's always going to be tomorrow. Let's bring forward our dreams and start living them today. So you will. Today is when we want to make it happen. So we want to schedule it. We want to write it down. Be honest with yourself. Start small. Pick one little thing. Think about your morning routine. I know when you're tired, you kind of want to get your sleep back in the morning, but the best quality of sleep that we will get is before midnight, which is hard. Like, it's hard for me, you know, tonight. What time is it? It's 4:20. I've got to leave soon because I've got to get Maddie from daycare by 5 because we've got to get to swimming by 5:30. Swimming goes till 6. We'll probably get dressed and be out of there by 6:15. We'll go to the supermarket, eat some food from dinner. So we'll probably be home about 6:40. Then I'm going to cook dinner. So we'll be eating dinner. We're having burgers. So easy and quick. We'll get them kind of by, 10 to 7 o'clock. Get Maddie into the shower. Get her out of the shower. That can take, 10 minutes. She's 3.5. Get her dressed. Get me dressed. Get her to bed. Read a book. By now, what time is it? It's like 8:30. How long is she going to take to fall asleep? Like, I'm going to sit there the whole time. I read a book, thank goodness. Sometimes, get on social media and check people's posts and respond. And then I get to sit down with my husband at, 8:30, 9 o'clock. And by then, do we want to watch a movie? Do we want to watch a TV show? Stuff like that together. Then we're looking at, 10:30. So some nights I just have to call it and be like, I've got to be in bed, like it's 10 o'clock. I want to get 2 hours of sleep before midnight because I want to get up at 6. I want to get up at 5 and I want to have some time to myself in the morning. So think about that morning routine. Don't snooze your alarm. Can you take 10 minutes for yourself? Get up 10 minutes earlier and sit there and have a coffee or write in a journal or do some positive affirmation. Watch the news, I don't like to let too many things from outside bombard me, so I try not to turn the TV on in the morning, and just be comfortable with not being busy and moving. Stop for a second, And I think most of us tend to only stop when we're sleeping, and that's why when we lie down in bed and we're lying there and we're trying to sleep and our thoughts are racing and we've got so many things we're thinking about, like what happened today, what's going to happen tomorrow. I was an overthinker. I used to think through conversations and meetings I was going to have the next day. I used to plan the clothing I was going to wear because my brain just didn't know how to stop. And that's why something like meditation can really help. It can help you to get control of those thoughts and stop them. And that can be really useful with your sleep. So yeah, think about that morning routine. I encourage you, even if you're not a morning person, to get up a few minutes earlier and commit that time to yourself and dedicate some time to your dreams. That's what got me out of bed on the hard days is, I deserve 10 minutes for my dreams. And I take more than that now. I take an hour or 2. So really, really important. Be kind. Think about the barriers that you've got to your little goals, and think about what needs to happen for them not to be barriers anymore. And sometimes, we can rob Peter to pay Paul. Like, getting up 10 minutes early was really hard some days and I would be tired, but the payoff would be my mindset for the day. I wouldn't be dragging myself through the day. I'd take that 10 minutes in the morning to think about all the positive things that had happened the day before and all of the characteristics that I want to display during the day. You know, I'm determined, I'm deliberate, I'm strong, I'm positive, I'm kind. Those things, they're the things I tell myself, because, you know, sometimes the little voice in our head says the opposite of those things. So I start my day, because I have a very negative internal voice sometimes, pre-programming myself to be positive. And that's really important for me, because if I took that extra 10 minutes to sleep, I take my negativity through the day with me. You know, people say, oh, how's your day going? I'm like, oh, you know, horrible. I'm so tired. Maddie was up this many times last night. She read the bed. You know, I haven't had any coffee yet. You know, no one wants to have a conversation with that person. Instead, they want to say, oh, you know, it was fantastic. I got up, I had a coffee. You know, I got Mads off to daycare. Although this morning was horrendous. She told me to go outside. She didn't want to see me. And then she lay there crying because I wouldn't feed her for about half an hour. So she's at daycare now. Thank goodness. So yeah, so think about these things, start planning, be deliberate with your dreams and the goals you want to achieve. And this extends beyond health, but for the purpose of this, we're talking about motivating our minds in relation to our health and wellness state. So your sleep, your hydration, your physical exercise, the foods that we eat, all of those things contribute to our health. So that's this week. Next week we'll be talking about visualization. So I touched on a little bit with positive affirmation and stuff, but we're going to talk more about how we can actually visualize our dreams and help us to make our dreams a reality. So tune in next Thursday. We'll see you then. Make sure you comment below if you've had a listen today. Maybe tell me a little bit about what you're working on. Thanks.